Hi, I'm Dr. David Clark. I have a private practice in Tacoma, Washington. I'm also co-director of the BioClear Learning Centers, where we develop curriculum for not only the learning centers, but dental schools that are trying to modernize from old-fashioned cavity preparations to modern preparations, and then do injection molding to restore those. So here is your expert tip. Now, what we're going to be talking about is monolithic composite and candy canes. So just hear me out here, all right? So this is a great story. So I am lecturing in Cork, Ireland, which is a lovely place. You should go. So I went over to the 3M booth to talk to them about injection molding to see if they understood what we were doing with their composites. And I noticed these things laying on the counter. I said, what are these things? This is millable porcelain, right? And I can't imitate the guy's Irish accent, so I'll just use my American accent. He says, no, that's millable composite. I said, you gotta be kidding. I said, look at this stuff. I said, I grabbed the piece, I banged them together really hard. I tried to scratch them with a paper clip, and I looked at these blocks of monolithic composite, and I looked at that and I said, this is what we're creating with injection molding of teeth. And so, imagine if there was a tooth ensconced in this monolithic composite. So then a little light went off in my head. I said, tell me all about this material. Monolithic composite, this is Filtech, has the same compressive strength as Emax Press. Now the tensile strength is a little bit less, but it's very similar to porcelain. And so when we started injection overmolding all of these teeth, getting away from layering and hand manipulation and all the things that we've done, which are neat, but they don't create a strong tooth, we're creating monolithic restorations like this with composite directly over the tooth with these beautiful matrices. And so the outcomes are like porcelain. They don't stain, they don't chip, they don't leak. They look like these beautiful blocks of monolithic porcelain. So what does this have to do with candy canes? So here's my next prop. This is a candy cane. You know how you make these things? They take a bunch of sugar, they get it real hot, they get this big blob of molten sugar on the table, and it's essentially clear. And then as the molten sugar cools, they fold it over and over and over again, 20, 30, 100 times until it becomes white. And why are these candy canes white and not clear? Because they're incorporating air bubbles. The last thing we want in our composite is air bubbles. And so one of the things that's interesting, as we move to these monolithic composites with no hand manipulation, the translucency is more natural, it's visually soft. So the value of these monolithic composites is actually a little bit lower because we're not creating candy canes that are full of air. But we don't want candy cane composites because those air bubbles tend to get stained over time and the value drops later, and it's inconsistent. So the one piece of advice that I have for you is that when you're doing these monolithic composite restorations, you may want to pick a composite that's a little bit brighter. If you like A2, you might want to use B2, which is a little bit brighter. Or if you like B2, use A1. You want to bring the value up a little bit with the composites that you're choosing because you're going to have a more translucent composite with monolithic injection molding. There you go.